You're listening to SM Media, the #1 place for exclusive content.
Hi everyone, and welcome to our latest exclusive interview right here on SM Media. I'm Scott McPike, delighted to be your host as always. Got a very special guest in this week's episode. I'm joined by the Queen of the South legend, currently at Peterhead, Derek Lyle. Derek, it's a pleasure to have you on the show, mate. Thanks very much for joining me.
No problem, Scott, no problem, mate.
How are we doing? How's everything been?
Good, obviously. A wee bit with all this going on in the world, but everybody's safe and well.
Brilliant. What's been happening? Obviously, been missing football. Like, you just turned 40 as well. Like, are you planning on playing for as long as you can?
As long as the body lets us, Scott. Obviously, we've just got word there that we're going back in on Saturday. We're going to do the testing, COVID test, and then we'll do a fitness test and things and get back up and running. So it's a long time for everybody to be off. Never mind, obviously, with my age. So I'll see how the body reacts. I've kept ticking over, but I'll see how the body reacts to. It's not the same as going in and training as hard with the boys again.
And how were you doing before the season was suspended? You feel you were doing okay?
Up and down. I reckon we've got a good team, and when we play well, I think we beat Partick at Partick there, and I thought we were the better team. When we play well, we're a good outfit, but maybe not just as consistent as we would like.
Brilliant. What else has been happening as well? Obviously, you're thinking about getting into coaching at some point as well.
I don't know what's around the corner. I've done my B licence. I've got my year for B licence, but I've not done any coaching, to be honest. I said to myself I was going to try and play as long as possible, and I've focused on playing. I don't think I could do the two at the same time with the coaching and playing. So that's probably how I've been able to play so long, because I'm just focused on playing, and when I'm done, I don't know what's going to happen after it.
Brilliant. We'll talk about your early career as well. You started out at Partick Thistle. What were your days like there, and who were your good mentors when you were coming through at Partick?
See, to be honest, Partick was probably really good, and I didn't realise it at the time, because John Lambie was my manager, and
brilliant.
Some character. Him and Jerry Collins, and I thought he was hard on us, and he was hard on at the time, but bringing that upbringing through football, I think it served me well. But he liked these experienced players. You have Jerry Brittons and Tom Callahan, Des McEwen. You had a lot of experience, good team. Danny Lennon, Archie.
Yeah,
we could go in with him. So he preferred to play them. When I was a young kid coming through, I found it hard to get into the team because he liked the experience, and probably I maybe forced to go out and play. And I went to Queen of the South on loan, and I maybe should have started a wee bit longer and try to bide my time at Partick, but I was desperate to play. And I just felt as if it was always going to be the experience that we're playing in front of the youth. So I decided to leave. But upbringing-wise, what a character. He was hard on everybody. And when that came about as actually a fluke, me making it there. My dad was at a party with Chip Charnley in his house. He was in his house and he was having a few bevies, and I got a phone call. Obviously, I was playing football. I think it was maybe Morton at the time at youth level.
Yeah.
I got my dad phones me, steaming, saying, "You're going into Partick in the morning for a trial." I'm thinking, what? He's with Chick Charlie. Chick's come on the phone, right, wee man, you're going in. I phoned the gaffer and he's going to take you in trial pre-season. And that's how that came about. And I ended up going in there and done really well. And I was always fit anyway. So, and Lambie liked that. He used to kind of use me for the running and that because I was fit, and not older people were like that to me, "You calm down," because the times were going on me and I was a young boy, you know what I mean? And older ones are like, "You calm it." So that came about with a bit of a fluke to get into there and never look back.
What was your favourite John Lambie story? You must have a few.
Now, one time, just a quick one I can remember, he used to take us to wherever there was a do convention, that's where we were pre-season. So he used to just take us, and we ended up in Blackpool, I think, this time. And I'm sharing a room with big Jerry Britton. And we're out. He's took us out for a few drinks. So the boys have ended up steaming. Lambie's in his bed. He's curted his bed steaming. And big Jerry Britton's like to me, I'm like a kid, he's like to me, "Right, help me with this wardrobe." So he's took the wardrobe out of the room and he's put it, John Lambie was in the room next to us. So he's put this big cabinet right against John Lambie's door. So he couldn't, and he put his hand behind the thing and chapped his door, and you could just hear Lambie moaning and groaning, getting up. You're talking about maybe 2-3 in the morning. And he's shouting on me, if I find out who that is, there'll be a fine and blah, blah, blah. Sure enough, 7:30 in the morning, he had everybody up on the beach, Pleasure Beach, and he's like, you cunt. He says, see that pillar away along there? It was miles. He says, everybody touched it and back, and the last one, I think it was about 4 feet. And then they had us running right along the beach to touch the tower because Big Jerry had done that to him during the night. But he was constant with things like that. He just wouldn't let it. There was too many to mention. It was just constant. It was some character.
Aye, brilliant. You go on to Queen of the South in your first spell. You won the second division in the Challenge Cup. They must stick out. But what were your kind of highlights when you were
there? It probably was that. To be honest, it was when we won the league in the Challenge Cup. The Challenge Cup probably for me because the family came to it, and it was only, I think it was at Broadwood, so she was just across the road from me, and there was a lot of the family there, and I managed to score in the final and get man of the match. Mm-hmm. So that probably sticks out because of obviously personal getting a goal in the final and man of the match, and the night out wasn't too bad after it either. It's been a lucky club for me. They've winning the league's obviously special, but that sticks out would be the final, just for a personal thing, a scoring in it and then not too bad in it.
Brilliant. Who were the good players in that Queen of the South team as well?
Well, you had Peter Werderson. The goalie was in goals. Andy Gorham was in goals for us. Peter Werderson, John O'Neill, B. Bowser. There was a lot of good players in that team at the time, but no superstars. Just everybody worked hard for each other, and that's probably how we had the success. You know what I mean? There was no, obviously, except for Andy Gorham, he was a superstar, but he was down to earth, and I think that's how we done so well.
Brilliant. You joined Dundee under Alex Ray. What was Alex like, and did you enjoy your 2 years at Dundee?
I loved it, and I think I was his first signing. Mm-hmm. And it was McCall. It was at Queen of the South, and McCall came back for a shoulder injury or whatever, and he had signed his own players, and maybe he says I was fourth choice striker. So obviously I wasn't going to have that. So that's why I looked at getting out on to get another club in Dundee. And obviously Dundee was a big club. Mm-hmm. So when that happened, I was delighted. And Alec Ray was obviously I'm a Rangers fan, and I've watched Alec Ray, so it was a big. And went to meet him, and it was a great time.
Brilliant. What were your kind of highlights for your 2 years at Dundee there?
Well, I think I was top goal scorer the first year. We'd done no too bad, and I scored quite regular for Dundee, and enjoyed my time. Kind of don't know not really many highlights because we never really won the league. There was a bit of a downside because I signed a pre-contract with Hamilton when I was at Dundee, and there was only the two of them were going for a title, so there was only a point or two in it, and it didn't go down too well, obviously. Aye. With the Dundee fans, and then started getting a bit of abuse after them, which is fair enough. But I had to stay and see out they tried to get me out in January, Hamilton, but I had to stay and see the season out when they let me go. He says, I'm not letting you go, we're going for a title with them, blah, blah, blah. And I says, listen, I've signed, I'm getting abused. Just let me go. And but he wasn't having it. So I still done the business and games for him, but when the league was mathematically done, the fans kind of turned on me a wee bit. And I can see the point because I was going to but I just felt at the time that they had offered me a new contract, and it wasn't anywhere near what the other people were getting round about me, and I just felt, and then Hamilton's come in, and I felt they could win the league that year because they had a strong team. So I took the decision to go, thinking I would get out in January, but it never happened. And that was the only downside, because when I was at Dundee, I really, really enjoyed it and got on with the fans. And obviously it's turned sour a bit when that happened, which was a bit of a blow.
Right. You move on to Hamilton though, but there was a really bad knee injury that hampered your time there. How hard did you find it to fight back for that?
Probably the worst. That was the worst time in my career. For me, it was devastating. I was just getting into the team, the training and that. When I went there, the intensity of the training was higher than I had been used to. Players, Alec Neil, MacArthur. Yeah. The standard of training was brilliant, and training was excellent. So it took me a wee while to adjust to it, to get up to speed with it, and I felt as if I was just getting to hit my stride, and I started playing that season when that happened to me. So I didn't really hit I was really enjoying it at the time, and it was just unfortunate that happened, but devastating. I didn't know if I would come back to play again. The surgeon told me that I maybe not play again. I think it was the same operation as the boy John Kennedy got at Celtic.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
They never come back for it. So I was just determined. I was determined when he told me that we maybe not come back for it to get back. But he told me when I come through it that it went well and stuff, that the operation had went well. So it was devastating. I wasn't the same for a year and a half. But then to get back to you obviously think you're all right after a year and 2 months, but I didn't really, maybe a year and a half to 2 years, get back to being fully fit.
Yeah. And you go to Morton, you had a return to Hamilton and Cowdenbeath followed after that. Were they tough after recovering from an injury like that?
Yeah, I think that was the big thing. I think I thought I was okay. I thought I was okay, and I was maybe a wee bit off it as in terms of sharpness, and maybe underestimated my getting back so quick and things. That obviously I was back running and I was back, but it wasn't the same. I didn't feel the same. Looking back, I wasn't the same. Morton didn't work out. Started well, and I got into trouble with the police for something that I will not go into, but I had a court case hanging over me. So that kind of took its toll. I thought, you think you're okay going out to play, but that's still in the back of your head. You're not the same player. So that took its toll on me there, and I was gutted because Alan Moore's a good friend of mine, and I went there to play for him, and it just didn't work out after that. It was a bit of a blow. So went to Cowdenbeath, we won the league, but I didn't play in my position. Cameron was the manager, and I didn't play me as a striker. He felt as if put me in a 3-out left. Wasn't in a position, but I was happy to obviously go and win it and get a title and get a medal. So, but personally, doing very well there. We got a league title, and that was what we were after. I was after when I went in there. And who else was it?
Cowdenbeath, you were at.
Cowdenbeath. So they were okay, but I think it was just me finding my feet again to get as fit as I felt I could, and that was getting the games to get me there, and I felt I did that probably.
And you then returned to Queen of the South for your second spell, when you're a legend there at Queen of the South. I've spoke to a couple of Queen of the South fans, and they think the world of you. Like, how good was the second spell, and do you think that cemented your status at the club?
Honestly, I loved it. Queen of the South has just been a lucky club for me. Good for me with the fans, and probably I've been good for them. It's just fitted. The second time was just as if I had never been away again, and going back there, and then we won the double again. So I think I'm the only player in their history to do the double twice, which is just luck. It was just luck, timing, being there, going back and doing it again, and I was in the right place at the right time in terms of that, and obviously getting put into the Hall of Fame with them.
Yeah.
Got a testimonial with them, so it was a lucky club for me, and fond memories there.
And your testimonial as well, was that against Rangers, am I right?
Rangers legends, Barry Ferguson, and that helped out with that. Gorham and things, and obviously Alec Ray, who I'd played under. A lot of people had helped out with me. They were going to give me. I was going to actually get Rangers when Mark Warburton was the manager.
Right, okay.
And he told me, in fair play to him, he said to me, we played against them these seasons. He was saying, Derek, we want to give you it. We want to give your testimonial. He says, but him and Davy Weir, he says, listen, we just can't fit in a time. We can't give you a date now.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I think they had a lot of games midweek. They just couldn't give me a date. He says, but we will give you it. But I got to the stage, I needed a date because you needed to sell tickets, needed to get things organised. So I went down the route of, because I couldn't get that, I went down the route of getting the Legends, which was a great day.
Brilliant. And then Jim McInally signed you for Peterhead. Like, have you enjoyed your time there, and how good is Jim as a manager?
Brilliant. Couldn't ask for any merit. The age I'm at. People are saying, going away up to Peterhead, the travel at your age. It's probably helped me being older, to be fair. Because me being younger, I'd wanted to be doing here. It's the boys are good boys there, and we get a good laugh in the bus. The gaffer's been brilliant with me. If he doesn't think that, if I don't want to train, if I'm feeling a niggle, he's fine. He asks me if I want to go on the bench, if I'm all right to start. He's been brilliant since I walked in the door. He basically just asked me how I'm feeling. He leaves it up to me. As a manager, he's been about. He knows his stuff, and he gets the best out of players. I've really enjoyed it. The dressing room obviously been good. Got a few characters in there, so it's been good, and probably at the right time in my career, actually.
Brilliant. Final question: who are some of the best players and characters you've met in football, and what is your all-time best dressing room story?
The best players, as I mentioned, played against. I played for Hamilton. We played against Rangers at Ibrox, and Billy Reid put me in midfield. A man marked Stephen Davis, unbelievable. So I had
was that the 7-1 game you went in front?
Ranking the Guiders. So I had man Martin, Stephen Davis, Barry Ferguson was in midfield, and Mendes. That was the three midfielders. Honestly, never got a kick. Stephen Davis knew for the first 5 minutes that I was to man mark him, and just ran me about the pitch, just out the way, just looking at me as if to say, "Where are you going?" Just taking me right out of position. Absolute class. Getting up close with referee. Was going to be up there, but training as I'm playing with, like say I think Neil MacArthur, Dobie, outstanding. Dobie's best striker I've been a part with. So
he's had a good partnership as well, didn't you?
Brilliant, and he's a good lad as well. So I was actually surprised because I played against Stobbs and he was obviously a bit heavier, and he went away. Didn't he ever play with him when he came back? I was a wee bit. I've seen this. He's special, by the way. This boy. If he just imagine if he kept his cell trim right through his career, where he could have went. I know he did have a right good career, but it was something else. Training that was brilliant. The dressing room story. I was actually talking to Higgy and a few of the boys in the group chat the other day, and they were saying, "Del, you've got." I was in Jim McIntyre came in at Queen of the South, and he's come in and he's heard that I've liked the Mondays off. They used to call me Bombay Monday. I used to go out in the Swally in the Sunday, and the Monday was the Monday I used to take off, or I used to win half like Jake or whatever. And so he used to call me Bombay Monday, but he nipped it in the bud right away. So he's heard about that when he's come in, and he's fined me a week's wages for not turning up first Monday. Week's wages. Right. So I accepted it. A couple of weeks later, come in. I was injured. Come in. I've been out on the Sunday, so he's obviously knew I've been out. He says, "You in the office?" Pulled me in the office. He's giving me right through me. He's saying to me, "I've had one flip flop on. I had a wee thing on my ankle, massaging my ankle." So he's given me that. Told me to go up the road, find 2 weeks' wages, transfer list, full lot. So I'm walking away, and I'm walking along the thing with one flip flop on. I'm away doing it one side, and that. I'm sake. So anyway, sends me home. Goes in back 2 days later. And to be fair to him, it was brilliant for me. He played me, he puts me on the Saturday. He could have left me out. I'm on the transfer list. He could have been me. But he didn't. He was doing it to get a reaction at me. I goes on and scores at the weekend. So I comes in on the Monday and it's his birthday. So I went and got a cake made with me on the front of it, with no tapo and sliding on my knees. And obviously he's raging at me through all this. I've scored a wee bit, making up today, and goes in with his birthday cake on the Monday. And he was sitting in his cup of coffee, and I says, "Gaffer, happy birthday." Put this cake down in front of me. He just looked at me and says, "Get Dave." But he was really good for me.
Aye.
As in keeping your feet in the ground. I think he knew that maybe a wee bit he's selling it, and he just had to be hard on me, but it was fair. Aye. And I think he got the best out of me.
Brilliant. It's been an absolute pleasure, Derek. I've really enjoyed talking to you. Thanks very much indeed.
You take care of yourself.
Cheers, mate. Cheers, mate.